Good evening, CBC fans. Welcome to W. Michael Ross 66 Stadium. We are here in the Tim Kylo broadcast booth bringing you Cadet Soccer, the CBC tournament, one of our early season favorite traditions here on the Cadet Student Network. My name is Tom Eichwald. I'll be bringing you the game. And alongside me, as so often, Mr. Tim Morris. Tim, nice to have you.
It's great to be here, Tom.
Now we're going to cut to the starting lineups. We'll have our opening prayer. We won't be able to bring in the national anthem, but we will join you right after starting lineups, prayer, and the anthem. And as we introduce the starting lineups, we will first introduce the lineups for the Smet Spartans that you see there in the maroon, white, and blue. Connor Range in goal, the number 1. Number 3, Andrew DeGrief. Number 4, Austin Bloom. Number 5, Connor Ferguson. Number 7, Sam Grass. Number 8, David Meyerhoff. Number 9, Matt Yankowitz. Number 10, Nick Hansen. Number 11, Griffin Morgan. Number 12, Jack Klingler. And number 25, Avi Wessa. For CBC in goal, John Huber, the number 1. Playing in front of him will be Ryan Gertison, number 2. Ryan Oberle, number 3. Pat Alsmeyer, number 4. AJ Palazzolo, number 5. Bryce Starzik, number 7. Nick Dempster, number 8. Max Steffen, number 9. Number 11, Adam Wittenauer. Number 12, Jack Edwards. And number 21, Simon Larson. Simon making his CBC debut tonight. Exchange student from Asker, Norway. Nice to have him here. And I know he is pumped for this game. So we're going to take a break here while we pray, and we will be right back here on CSN. And welcome back to the Tim Kylo broadcast booth here on CSN. Tom Eichwald alongside Tim Morris, getting ready for some CBC tournament action. Now, the way this tournament works, there are 4 teams. Earlier, we saw St. Louis U-High and Vianney play to a 4-1 win for SLU. And here we have the Smet and CBC in the second game tonight. Now, everybody plays everybody else, so everybody gets 3 games. And the way the tournament works, if you win a game, you get 3 points. If you lose a game, you get nothing. And if you tie, you get 1 point. So a win is 3, a tie is 1, and a loss is nothing. You get additional points. You get a 1-point bonus if you get a shutout, and you get a point for every goal scored up to 6. Now, just to let you know what happened earlier, the Junior Bills won big over Vianney 4-1. Have to say Vianney didn't look too sharp. The Billikens certainly looked good especially in and around the penalty area. They finished most of the chances they got. So they won 4-1, which means that as the points stand, SLU is at 7 points, and St. John Vianney High School is at 1 point. So depending on what happens in this game, we will have our positioning after the first day. So as we get set, you are going to see De Smet in the maroon and white with the blue socks, and you are going to see CBC in the home white attacking right to left across your screen. It's a humid night, not a whole lot of breeze blowing around. Be nice to see a little bit, maybe some off and on drizzle, but regardless, this should be a fun one. Now, Tim, your thoughts on the CBC season so far? What have we seen?
It's been a really exciting season, actually. A lot of opportunities taken. Finally seeing some consistent goal scoring out of that front pairing of Max Steppen and Nick Dempster. So a lot of solid wins. I think the only loss was a 2-1 affair at SLU. Strong wins against Chaminade, and the rest of the schedule has been pretty solid.
And, of course, since this is our first broadcast since it happened, our official congratulations from the Cadet Student Network to Coach Terry Mickler on his 900th victory, which was earned in that Saturday afternoon thriller over Chaminade, at Chaminade, 2-1 on an overtime goal from E.J. Verholst. So Coach Mickler gets his 900th win, and E.J. gets his first varsity goal.
It's always exciting to get that one against Chaminade.
It is, and such a fun tradition, that Saturday afternoon game. The freshman team plays first at 10, and then the varsities play at noon. It's always fun to be over there, and especially on such a historic day. But as we get ready for tonight, a little bit different. Max Steffen with an early opportunity here. He's going to cut back inside. Ball makes its way to Dempster. Dempster cuts across, and miscommunication with Starzyk, but Starzyk may get a cross off here. He's got to get a little bit of space. He's got Simon Larson in the middle of the penalty area, and that one's cleared. But a little bit different look tonight from the Cadets. Now we are seeing a formation. Good cross from, that was Ryan Oberle. We're seeing a formation we haven't seen before, at least not in quite some time. It is a 3-2-4-1 for the Cadets. What we're seeing is a back three of A.J. Palazzolo in the middle, with Ryan Gertison on his left and Ryan Oberle on the right, so plenty of Ryans in the back there. In front of them is a defensive midfield duo of Pat Alsmeyer and Jack Edwards, who's been a standout so far. And in front of them, a four-man midfield line playing in between the defensive midfields and the striker. On the left-hand side, this is the near side of your screen, is Adam Wittenauer. And to his right is Max Steffen and Nick Dempster in the middle, with Bryce Starzyk over on the right, another younger player who's impressed so far this season. And up top, as the lone striker, is Simon Larson. What do you expect out of this formation, Tim?
A lot of high press. What's the one thing with having those three central natural forwards, they're going to press the defense and try to generate mistakes and pressure on that defensive back four for De Smet.
And as we look over at the De Smet lineup, we see some players we know well. Griffin Morgan, of course, a player we have seen plenty of over the years. Matt Yankowitz, another very experienced player. Sam Grass, we've been able to watch him grow up over the last few years. He is a junior back this year. He has been, Johnny Huber bobbles it, and he recovers. That was nicely done by Huber after the initial spill. And his jersey gets a little dirty. It was good pressure there from, I believe that was Avi Wessa. Yes, it was. Matt Yankowitz playing central striker. A player very capable of causing some problems. And talking to Coach Klein before the game, one of the things he was talking about, he's very pleased with what he's seen so far this season. 4-1 so far for the Spartans, as we see Nick Dempster cut inside. It's too far behind Larson and too far ahead of Alsmeyer, but good pressure from Alsmeyer. Here's Starzyk. Gets off a shot, and that's high and wide. But Klein saying that his team has been very, very good. They've been very creative, creating a lot of chances. Just need to get better at putting them away.
One thing to look for CBC, it looks like Larson is very comfortable with his back to the goal. Look for Dempster and Steffen to maybe play off that run through with their speed.
That's a very, very dangerous lineup, potentially. And you can see the intent from Coach Mickler, because Sam Leach not starting. He's putting two strikers in behind the target man and Simon Larson. So you can see what's on his mind there. He wants goals out of that trio.
Larson looks very comfortable with collecting it and maintaining possession here, trying to fight for
Yeah, and talking to Simon, he's first of all, he's such a nice kid. We're very, very fortunate to have him. Didn't even know he played soccer until he got here, really. He is a very good student, of course, visiting us from Norway this year. And, of course, they don't have school sports in Norway, so he's blown away by the idea of playing for his school and very, very proud to put on a CBC shirt. So it's been fun to watch him take to it, and this is his debut. So hopefully we'll see a good one out of him. As the Smet works it forward, this is the number 10, Nick Hansen.
Sam Grass, nice ball into the middle.
Oh, and that's, you can't do that. And AJ pulls down Matt Yankowitz. And you don't see AJ do that very often. I've got to think Yankowitz maybe had a little handful of something and was falling backward. But regardless, it is a foul. That is the correct call. And silly mistake there from AJ.
Yankowitz got the position, held on to it.
Yeah.
Was looking for the foul. It's probably the best they could have gotten out of that situation.
Right. So over this one is number 10. This is Nick Hansen again. And the left-footed option, Connor Ferguson. But
looks like 3 Smet players intentionally offsides. Now they become.
Yep. Hansen wants it.
Off the wall.
That was off. Was that off Gertison maybe?
Somebody jumped up and took it off the side of the head.
Yeah, it's off somebody who is now feeling it, I imagine. 34:03 to go. Again, CBC in the white, attacking right to left across your screen. And Smet, a very good attacking opportunity on this corner kick. Taken by Ferguson. That one's deep, headed clear by Larson. As CBC steps. And this will be another throw-in for DeSmet. Going over there to take it is the number 8, David Meyerhoff.
It's nice to see the wall getting up and doing their job on that one. Makes it a little easier for Huber.
That was a good wall, I got to say. As walls go, that was impressive. Yeah. And this one falls. It was a left-footed volley attempt there by
number
Jack
19.
Klingler. Might as well try it. Didn't work out for him, though. Long ball, and Larson, Steffen, and Leach Larson, Steffen, and Dempster didn't have enough time to get up for that one, and then Steffen takes a piece of somebody.
Number 19.
Yep, that was Klingler again. Yeah, Steffen as one of those two players clipped each other. Don't think it was anything dirty, but I think Steffen was just letting him know that he will be accompanying him for a good remainder of the 80 minutes. A calling card, as it were.
Yeah.
And here you see the ball played wide. Good run from Andrew DeGrief. DeGrief plays it in. Huber's got this one, and he grabs. It was a little nervy. He had to double clutch that one, but he does. Yankowitz was lurking.
Able to climb the stairs.
And Huber, again, we talk about it a lot. He's not the biggest guy in the world, but he covers a goal and covers a goal box as well as anybody you'll see at this level. He really does. He's got great jumping ability. His decision-making is generally very good. So I like what I've seen so far. And, of course, we talk about the E.J. Verhulst's goal. Johnny Huber had a great game against Chaminade.
Yeah.
Really kind of didn't have much of a chance on the one goal, but was very impressive and made one or two really key saves to keep CBC in it before they were able to tie it up through A.J. Palazzolo. And there's Gertison playing across to Oberle. Nice control from Oberle. That was a tough one. And Oberle made somebody look a little silly there.
That's going to be.
You can't do that. And that's Larson going down hard there. And he takes it quick. Good decision from Simon.
Yeah, keep the pressure going. Don't let this Mets defense get set up.
Yeah, good read and support from Alsmeyer. Here is Gertison. He's got options in the middle. That one was blocked by Griffin Morgan. And here is Hansen trying to settle things down. Long ball played out of the back by Grass. Sam Grass, we saw him start as a wingback as a freshman. He's moved into center back. This is his second year playing center back. Played center back a little bit last year as a sophomore and again this year as a junior. It's been fun to watch him mature. He really has become one of the better defensive players in this conference.
Looks like there was an offsides call right there against number 9. Matt Yankowitz came back.
Yeah, it is offsides. Obviously, that's a mistake, technically. But what I like from Yankowitz, though, is he has been all over. He has been all over the goal box. You saw, when Huber catches that one, Yankowitz is right on there. You saw the opportunity, who was it getting fouled when A.J. brought him down? It was Matt Yankowitz. So very impressive from Yankowitz early. He wants to get himself involved in this game, wants to impose himself. Can't ask for much more out of your center striker. And Larson flicks on, and Stefan was off sides, and they are going to call this one. Good idea from Simon, and a nice run from Max Stefan, but just a bit off sides. I think that's how it goes. Slightly paraphrased. So 30 minutes to go. Still scoreless. Tom Eichwald alongside Tim Morris, bringing you Cadet Soccer on CSN.
Let's see if this ball stays in bounds for Nick Dempster. It does. He's able to pull it into the middle.
Looks for Larson, but it was just too far behind him.
Yeah.
Good idea. You see Larson and Stefan, and then Larson and Dempster very close to clicking, but just a little bit off, and to be expected. New formation, new partnership. And we have a goal kick here from Connor Range. And that's won by nobody, but the Smet ends up with it. 2 whiffed headers. And this one is dumped in. Oberle covering. And again, who is it but Yankowitz causing problems. And again, not terribly surprising given what we've seen. Although I will say, Yankowitz has always been kind of, he's a senior this year. He's always been kind of alongside somebody else. Mm-hmm. They've always had a pretty good attacking, many good attacking options. Griffin Morgan gets up there very well. We've seen guys in years past, but Matt Yankowitz, clearly, you can tell, as a senior, as a captain, he's taken the leadership, and he is really kind of flourishing, at least early in this game, as far as leading the line and being what you look for, not just in a center striker, but in a senior leader.
Yeah, was a corner kick given up there?
Yeah, that was given up by, was that Dempster helping out back there, I think? And Larson's going to cover back, and one of the nice things about Simon Larson is he doubles as a center back. So he plays 2 positions, center back and center striker.
He's very good in the air.
Yes, I would think that would be the common thread. Huber bobbles, and Huber gets tackled there. And Gertison pulls off somebody. Was that Sam Grass? No, that was not Sam Grass there. I couldn't tell the number on that. He's running back, trying to see it. That looked like Number 3, Andrew DeGrief, and he'll say he got tangled up, but this commentary crew does not necessarily see it that way. But it is what it is, and here he is, DeGrief. All in all, I think Huber will have learned his lesson and probably punch the next one he gets like that.
Yeah.
He knows they're gunning for him. And here's Palazzolo. Keeps it on the deck for Dempster. Combines with Wittenauer. Got pressure from behind. That's good closing from Wessa. And really thwarted something there. And Gertison. And that's cleared by Wessa. Some more good defensive work. Boy, you have a winger with some speed who can play defense. That's what you want, isn't it?
One of the interesting things defensively is Yankowitz is kind of staying within the same 10-yard area as AJ, even while CBC has possession. It looks like they do not want AJ getting the ball for his ability to distribute. Just like we saw, he gets a nice 50-yard pass.
Yeah. And Yankowitz Palazzolo is going to be a fun one to watch. And there you see the referee having a quick word with the Smet bench. You could see the official gesture of no more. Not sure exactly what that's referring to. But
probably getting a little chatty.
Yeah, probably. It's a rivalry game. It's the first game of a tournament, and there's Palazzolo again. Now, he's going to have to watch himself. You can't get away with too many of those in a game. Obviously, it's early in the game. A referee doesn't want to impose himself this early in a game, but if you're AJ, you can't keep making a habit of that. Although it's kind of a compliment when a player of the quality of AJ Palazzolo is pulling you down. I mean, a tip of the cap really is what that is.
And we got offsides here on Yankowitz trying to push it.
Oh, and Yankowitz blocks the free kick. He tries to. Again, you can't do that, but you like Yankowitz just trying to be a nuisance, and he's doing a good job of it. And
I think one of the things on that play he's benefiting from, he makes the first contact, but they never call the first one.
No.
So.
And here is Gertison. Throws it in for Larson. Larson tries to dump it in the middle, but that secondary run there from Dempster wasn't on. So 25:57 to go. We are scoreless. Again, first game for CBC and Smet of the CBC tournament. This is only the second game of the tournament. In the first game, the U-High beat Vianney 4-1, leads the tournament with 7 points. And that's where we stand.
Well, we'd like to give a shout-out to our presenting sponsor of CSN State Farm agent and CBC alum Tim Kylo. Please call Tim Kylo for all your insurance needs. Tim is more than just the best insurance guy in town. He's also the presenting sponsor of our CSN, the Cadet Student Network, and we're incredibly grateful for his support. So call Tim at 314-842-4442 or send him an email, tim@timkylo, that's KILO.com.
And we are in his booth, the Tim Kylo broadcast booth. So we certainly want to thank Mr. Kylo. And there you saw Jack Edwards dishing out some physicality in the midfield. That's what you want to see. Now, he was a player who played at center back. Now, CBC plays 3 center backs. So he played at center back for the early part of the season, and Ryan Oberle coming back into a regular starting spot has pushed him up into a stronger position in defensive midfield. But again, I mean, he is certainly a player to keep an eye on, only a sophomore, and really settled into a nice piece of this varsity squad. The Smet dumps it in looking for you-know-who, Matt Yankowitz.
Looks like the Smet wants to get into that chase game.
Right.
Not really interested in bringing the ball up with possession.
No, just get it in there and cause problems.
Looks like they've got 10 players behind the ball as much as possible, trying to just disrupt the possession of CBC in the CBC's offensive end.
And they're doing a good job of it. I think you have a wealth of attacking options up there with the 4-1 up there, but I think the timing has been a bit off, which, again, new formation, not terribly shocking. I'm not going to say CBC are lucky to be level here, because I think really it has been relatively level, but I'd have to say the bulk of the opportunities you get excited about as a commentator have probably fallen to the Smet. And there's Larson dumping it in, can't quite connect with Dempster there, and that's about how it's gone for CBC. Here's Oberle.
Oh.
And Edwards can't regain. Here's Klingler. And he dumps it in. Good read by Alsmeyer. Bit of a heavy touch, but good recovery.
Ooh.
Oh, and Simon Larson, well, I think it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other there. But with 23-15, it is level. And here's Starzyk. You talk about some of the players that have made an impact so far for CBC. Starzyk has been really, really impressive. And CBC possessing, unable to break down. Good idea from Alsmeyer, but a little slow in the read was Wittenauer. So De Smet really has settled into a very nice defensive shape. As you see them make their way forward from this, for this goal kick, they are walking forward at the same speed and in unison. So the discipline is there. The shape is there, which is what you want to see. And good things right now for the Spartans. And also substitutions for the Spartans. Matt Gambino comes in, as well as Sam Radetich.
There's 2 subs for CBC as well. I can't see the far number, but looked like Starzyk came out. Is that Costa?
And that is Leach over there on the far side.
Oh, that's Leach on the far side. And then Brendan Hennessy came in. Edwards stepped back.
And Oberle goes out.
Oberle takes a break.
And ball dumped in. Good read by Alsmeyer. Stefan tries to head forward. Larson a little too far away from him to gather it. And this one, Gertison stops. I have to say, it hasn't been a very pretty game so far, with the exception of that. That's a very nice pass. Cross thwarted by Gertison, but that's a nice run there from, was that Jack Ackfeld? I believe it was. That was Jack Ackfeld.
Yep, number 20.
Nice run from 20, but a great ball from Nick Hansen. Another player, certainly we talk about Yankowitz, we talk about Griffin Morgan attacking, but Nick Hansen is right there as well. And taking this one, it looks like it'll be Connor Ferguson again. Nope, Connor Ferguson's on the bench. I don't know who that is. But he dumps it in. It's a good one, and you get 3 points in football, none in soccer for that one. So that is going to be a goal kick. But I think, I was saying it kind of wasn't very pretty, but I guess gritty would be the positive word to use.
Yeah.
And to be fair, neither team really asserting themselves, certainly in possession, but also in terms of chances. No clear-cut chances, I wouldn't say, except for a free kick that hit the wall. Mm-hmm. 1 or 2 other half chances, but nothing that really jumps out at you. And we are halfway through the half. And Huber's going to give this a boot. Oh, we do have a second. Fans, it is, it's hard to believe. I know we're getting toward the end of it, but it's grilling season, okay? When you fire up the grill, be sure to visit our friends at Kenrick's Meats and Catering. Steaks, roasts, burgers, brats, delicious deli trays. The folks at Kenrick's have it all. Stop in to see Joe the Butcher and his crew to get your hands on the best cut of meat in town. If you crave it, Kenrick's has it. Check them out in South County on Weber Road or visit them online at kenricks.com. They also have a great restaurant and the best catering prices around. Give them a call, 314-631-2440 to learn more. That's Kenrick's Meats and Catering. And Larson doing his best to disrupt there, but good read from the right back, Andrew DeGrief. And that one's dumped in. Huber clears it courtesy of the back of Jack Edwards. That was kind of a miscommunication there. One of the things I actually told Johnny this before the game. I told him, I want to hear you through the headset, Johnny, but I guess Jack was going to leave it to him. I didn't necessarily hear a shout from either of them.
Looks like it's going to be a long throw here for the Smet.
That's a good one. That's a real good throw. That will be something to keep an eye on as the game goes. And this is one back by Ackfeld. Ackfeld tries to dump it in. Good pressure from Larson there to cut out the cross back in. And Alsmeyer reads it well. And that gives backup keeper Cameron Meyer
a little bit of work.
Chance to handle it. I'm waiting for the fist bump from Mike Camp on the handle, but there it is. There it is. They enjoy themselves over there.
It looks like the Smet's a little bit, not really necessarily concerned with possession, but more of just trying to keep the ball down in the attacking end by any means necessary to try to create maybe a mistake, a bouncing ball, an opportunity.
And there's the Ackveld calling the run of Hansen, which we like to see. But comes to nothing, and Wittenauer clears.
I mean, here it's just a lot of pressure from DeSmet, keeping it in that CBC defensive end. CBC not able to mount any sort of attack out of it or control or pressure. Nice slide tackle there from Steffen.
And good step by Hennessy, but doesn't come to anything. Leach brings it down, though. He's got about the best touch on the team, so you'd favor him to control that one. And Gertison cuts back inside, look to switch it. Hennessy's got Edwards over there, finds him. Edwards being very quickly closed down there by number 22, Sam Radetich.
Oh, nice touch here from Leach. Oh,
almost had Dempster through. There's a header, good one, and Dempster was just offsides. As
from the previous play, he was finishing his run and trying to get back on sides.
And I like the assistant refereeing from John Ackfeld, dropping back to defend on the far side. The universal reaction of the defender. That one's played across, cut out by Edwards, who gives it a ride. Nobody there in white. Larson misplays, Hennessy doesn't. And good drop back by Dempster. And another miscommunication and another wasted ball forward. Alsmeyer's going to dump that in, but not too many good things are going to happen from that ball. And cut out by Hennessy. And here is Radetich. Cuts it back. Plays it to Griffin Morgan. And there's Hennessy. Well, I think both teams need to take a little deep breath here and settle into this one. It's still frantic.
I mean, that's a perfect example. There were options to feet, instead electing for the ball over the top.
And both teams are really trying to press offensively, but it's almost like a game of who can press more instead of who can beat the press with possession.
Yeah. I'd like to see a little bit more calm possession from CBC, swinging the ball back and forth, moving it laterally, and then using the width of the field. But it seems like the majority of this game has been played on that far sideline.
It has. And, I mean, to be fair, DeSmet's done a good job of closing down CBC, not allowing them to get in possession. But, I mean, what that takes, as we see so often, it is going to be a strong physical battle in that midfield, which is probably why Brendan Hennessy is in there right now. And really, it's just all about kind of bossing things around.
It's like we're going to have a sub here. Wittenauer is going to come off.
And is that Starzyk coming back on? Nope, this is Dan Lindano.
Dan Lindano, the senior.
Dan Lindano, the senior. Know him by his blue boots, those blue Nike high tops. Don't see any of those on the other sideline tonight, Tim.
I don't.
Of course, the Smet long-standing policy of Coach Greg Vitello and carried on by Coach Josh Klein of only black boots. Paint bucket on the first day of practice, basically.
And here's Lindano with a nice little run. Let's see if he can bring this in.
That's tough to control with the wet turf, and he does it nicely.
Oh.
But Sam Grass does what he does best. And Palazzolo is going to test him again. And this time DeGrief says, I'll handle it. And he's going to ride it out.
Yeah, he's going to push it quickly.
There's Ackfeld. Little shove in the back from Lindano.
Just a little how you doing.
Yep. Love tap. 14:22 to go. And Smet trying to dump it back in, cut out by Leach. And Dempster seems to have switched up to that kind of a top two with Larson. Although it's really hard to say because now Steffen's up there. I think they're just kind of interchanging. And Larson's going to look for the second run here. Steffen has him if he wants. He tries to turn toward goal. To be fair, he could cut it back to Larson, who could have a rip from about 19 yards there, but Sam chooses to turn in, loses the ball. Lindano trying to regain. And this is cleared out, and that's pretty typical of how things have gone for the Cadets. 13:40 to go.
Oh, played it a little too quickly.
Yes. And I think they were trying to sub, so counter to their own purposes.
Yeah.
And coming in now is Grant Waters, and he's going to give Nick Hansen a break. I like what I've seen from Hansen so far. He's been creative. He's been on a good wavelength with Griffin Morgan and also with Ackfeld and Yankowitz.
Nice ball there from Larson.
Yep, that was. And a good turn, and Larson makes his way forward. Again, he is the big aerial threat for CBC tonight, so look for them to play it wide, and if they do, they might have him in the middle. Steffen is through.
Oh.
He was onside. I think he initially thought he was offsides.
Yeah.
You got to play to the whistle. Youth coaches all over the internet that are watching this are probably thinking, I got to remind my players about that.
It also looked like it took an awkward bounce off the spin.
It did.
When it deflected off the defender's head.
And again, with this wet, the turf is wet. It's been kind of drizzling off and on here. And that can tend to lead to some weird bounces and skips and what have you off the turf. And here is the clearance from range. Dumped back in. And Larson plays back to Palazzolo. Now Gertison. And I'd like to see CBC build with this possession a little bit.
Oh, there's a great ball.
Ooh, that was a close one. Now, to be fair, I do think he was just a touch off there.
Yeah.
But now, okay, it's a good ball.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what CBC has been doing. It looked like they were starting to settle into a little bit of possession, so I don't want to be too hard on AJ there when he sees the run there, and he obviously hits a pretty good ball to try to pick it out. But I would like to see them start building a little bit more. Here's Edwards and now Leach. Leach looks to build a little bit, and he's going to play it up to Steffen, who loses it. And now here's Steffen. Now they've got space. They've got Lindano on the wing, and good pressure, good closing from Andrew DeGrief. Lindano was making the run on this near side, which was just off camera, I believe, but it was a good one.
It looked like Steffen didn't really have full control of that ball. It was just out of his reach.
And here's Yankowitz. This is not the man you want one-on-one, and Huber's going to come out and claim that one. Nice job by Johnny. Good read. And Pat Alsmeyer was retreating as well. And again, Yankowitz shows himself to be a threat. Oh, that was Charlie Gibbs. Correction. Charlie Gibbs.
Who's now coming off for Yankowitz.
Yes, who's now coming off for Yankowitz.
Those sixes.
He just wanted to make sure that I corrected it.
Those sixes and nines are tough.
Yeah, it's like pulling a 6-iron when you need a 9-iron. Look out, parking lot. $10:41 to go.
A little golf humor from the golf coach.
Yes, got to get it in where you can. just like golf itself. I think 0-0 is probably the right result here.
Are we going to get a tweet from Dean Meyer?
I don't know. By the way, you can tweet us. Dean Meyer can tweet us, but you can tweet us as well. You can tweet us at CBCCSN. Let us know what you think. Correct us when we call your son by the wrong name. Just send us a tweet in the booth. We'd love to get you out, whether it's a shout-out or a question or something like that. And Yankowitz, again, being a nuisance down there for Alsmeyer off the ball. Alsmeyer didn't like it, neither did Gertison, but no, it is what it is. But, yeah, you can tweet us at CBCCSN. Let us know what you think. We'd love to get you on the broadcast. This one is dumped in, and this time Dempster is on sides. He comes out. Good slide tackle from range. And he does a nice job to get back.
Guaranteeing that one going out of bounds.
There's only three things that are going to happen when the keeper puts himself in that position. He's going to clear it, he's going to get a red card, or it's going to be a goal. So, nice job by Connor. Make sure it was the right result. Here's Edwards, Hennessy. And now Gertison. Good switch. He's got Lindano on the sideline, and he goes back inside for Alsmeyer. Alsmeyer looks diagonally. He's got Leach running onto it. Leach has options in the middle. Tries to play it in. We saw the goal against Chaminade came off a Sam Leach cross, so we know we can hit him. That one's cleared out by DeSmet, and we're going to have a corner to CBC with 9:02 to go. It is 9:02 and not 6:02.
I'd like to see what CBC can generate here. We've got AJ and Simon Larson in the middle.
It looks like Max Steffen is going to patrol the top of the area, look for scraps. And Sam Leach is going to join him. This one's played in left-footed in-swinger. Kind of range, bobbles it, but regains, and he's going to do the right thing and hold on, take his time.
A little bit too close to the goalie on that one.
A little bit. The in-swinger there from Lindano. It was not a bad kick, but just kind of curved a little sharply on him. And this one's going to Smet's way. Aviwesa plays in, finds that is Matt Gambino. I was about to say Alex Solverud, then I realized I had Slew's roster up. So too many MCC rosters here. That's a good problem to have because it means good MCC soccer. And this was probably not been the best of MCC soccer we've seen here tonight. Two teams canceling each other out in kind of a stalemate at this point. But I don't think it will stay a stalemate for 80 minutes, Tim.
Oh, I don't think so.
Not with these two teams, not with the squads they have out there. And here's Yankowitz. Finds Aviwesa. Yankowitz hauling it to the back post. Can Wesa get this cross off? If he does, he's got him. Cuts inside. Gertison gets a foot to it. Still bouncing around. Simon Larson helping out defensively. He wins this. He's got his head up looking downfield. I like that.
Nice ball.
Finds Dempster. Dempster has Steffen in the middle, withdrawn. And he's got Lindano and Larson on the side. Finds Lindano, and that's just too far. You can see Lindano misplayed the skip, and that's one of those wet skips that just gets ahead of you. But that's a great ball across. Good vision from Nick Dempster.
Lindano just almost on that build-up from DeSmet. A misplay by him kept it alive.
Right. But a good awareness from Larson to look upfield. You could see him dribbling up with his head up. That's exactly what you want to see. And then a great ball across from Dempster.
Yeah, to Larson, who made a great run just to get in position.
And here is Simon. Good tackle, though, from Griffin Morgan. And now Hennessy. Back to Larson. Larson dumps it over the top to Dempster, who is just offside. And very nearly played onside by Andrew DeGrief, but I think
DeGrief jumped at the right time.
He did.
Just jumped that 1 yard.
And here's Yankowitz. I'm seeing Yankowitz all over the place. Even though incorrectly. That was Connor Ferguson.
Oh. A little misplay there.
Yep.
Gives a throw in to DeSmet.
And 6:07 to go. And the umbrellas are being put away, so the drizzle seems to have stopped. Or just have gotten to an acceptable point. And a couple substitutions. Hansen comes back on. Also back on is Klingler.
You wonder when the point is that you're generating enough sweat that you're already wet.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. And it is a sticky evening, folks. Not particularly hot, but just like you said before a game, it's like being in a cloud, Tim.
And I like that play from Larson. Just allows CBC to get their numbers forward, keep possession. It's the little things like that that you do right that really impresses Coach Mickler.
And Leach couldn't get on the end of that one. Good job by Stefan trying to just poke it through to him. But just a little bit off, and again, I think that summarized CBC's night. And here is Smet with space. That was the real Matt Yankowicz. And this one's read by Londano. Played back in. Here's Griffin Morgan, another very dangerous attacking player. He's got space to dribble. You don't want to do that. He cuts it over to Yankowicz, who is just offsides. And that ball is kicked in the goal anyway by Griffin Morgan. But a good idea there from the interchange between Morgan. But bad things happen, Tim, when you allow Griffin Morgan space to run with the ball. So 4.5 to go. Huber's going to give this a ride. And again, if you are just coming in late,
I'd like to see one big push from CBC here to finish up the half.
Absolutely, I think we all would. Well, except for those in maroon tonight.
Here we go. AJ's giving it a ride.
Yeah, this ball played. Here's Stefan. Finds Dempster. The two working well together. Dempster wins it back. He's got Stefan. Londano overlapping wide. Stefan's going to try it. He tries to cut back. Andrew DeGrief does a nice job of defending, and this is going to be a throw for CBC. Just under 4 to go. This is maybe the start of that push you were talking about. Londano in for Stefan. Back to Londano. Now Dempster off the face of Wessa.
You don't need to go back up that sideline.
No. And Yankowicz cuts back inside. Londano reads. Here's Stefan. Dempster. Gertison. Lots of people. And somewhere in there's a foul. Apparently he's getting Stefan on an elbow.
Stefan saying there's a little bit of a tug on the back of his shirt, but
well,
they're gonna get the elbow every time.
3:18 to go. And this is going to be taken, looks like short by Andrew DeGrief. Oh, nope, changes his mind. He's going to square up to it. Why not? And Yankowicz settles. Now Wessa. Well, read by Gertison. And that one's off of Yankowicz, or out off of Yankowicz, I should say. And Gertison takes it quick with under 3 to go. Londano, nice little scorpion flick. And this one falls almost for Larson. Klingler read it nicely. Nice job by Jack. And this is going to go back to counter range. And the keeper is probably going to kick this far. There he does. Palazzolo dumps it right back in. Again, we're seeing a little bit of frantic soccer tennis going on here. And Larson, nice cutback. Finds Londano. Larson gets tripped up by Morgan. But this one's in for Stefan, and look at the pressure from those maroon shirts. They've been doing a great job of closing down CBC. We talk about CBC needing to get possession. It's not because they're not trying.
Yeah.
And Stefan can't grip the ball. It's a little slick. Finds Alsmeyer with 2 minutes to go. It is.
Open it up a little bit.
And Palazzolo brings it back right down the middle. And somehow finds Leach. I think he might have been aiming for Alsmeyer, but it works. Leach is wearing white as well. And can Leach get a cross off? He's dangerous if he can. And that's closed down.
Ooh.
And that's a goal kick that Leach does not like. Based on the angle, it's hard to tell, but they're saying it came off of Leach and not off of the number 14, John Reardon. Again, can't really tell from up here. We'll give the referee the benefit of the doubt. That's unfortunate for Sam Leach. More often than not, you see the defender get penalized for that one, even if it's not true. And this is dumped long by Smet with 1:10 to go. And now Palazzolo might as well kick it here.
Yeah, but he's got space. Ooh.
Good read by counter range.
Yeah, very confident.
The old sweeper keeper. And Londano tries to dump it back in. Stefan was out. Yes, that is the correct call. So with 45 seconds to go, counter range is going to kick this really hard and hope something good happens. Or actually, he's going to delegate. This is going to be Austin Bloom, 33 seconds. And now Huber's turn. He loves doing this. Watch him.
Going to give it a little bit of a ride.
He's smiling ear to ear when he gets to kick. That's not his best.
Nope.
He's not smiling right now.
He got that 9-iron confused with 6.
Yes, he did. Needed to punch the 6. 11 seconds left. This half is looking more likely to end scoreless, but I probably shouldn't say that. And still bouncing around. 3 seconds. Somebody kick it. There's a shot. Good save by Huber. And that is going to do it. We have a scoreless first half, in which that's probably about the right result. So we're going to go to some words from our sponsors. When we come back, we will get you all ready for the second half here on the Cadet Student Network.
Call State Farm agent and CBC alum Tim Kylo for all your insurance needs. Tim and the State Farm team provide a full insurance review to make sure you and your family are covered at the best possible price. Whether it's auto, renters, home, business, or life insurance, for more than 23 years, Tim has helped his clients manage the risks of everyday life and realize their dreams. For all your insurance needs, contact one of our school's most loyal alums, Class of 77 graduate Tim Kylo at 314-842-4442 or send him an email, tim@timkylo.com. Call State Farm agent and CBC alum Tim Kylo for all your insurance needs. Tim and the State Farm team provide a full insurance review to make sure you and your family are covered at the best possible price. Whether it's auto, renters, home, business, or life insurance, for more than 23 years, Tim has helped his clients manage the risks of everyday life and realize their dreams. For all your insurance needs, contact one of our school's most loyal alums, Class of 77 graduate Tim Kylo at 314-842-4442 or send him an email, tim@timkylo.
Class sports performance at the Lab Gym, St. Louis's premier training facility for elite and developmental athletes. Do you want to maximize your athletic potential? Do you want to get bigger, faster, stronger, more powerful, and actively prevent injuries? From high school and college to professional and Olympic athletes, world-class sports performance at the Lab Gym will get you ready to compete at the highest level. Call Director of Sports Performance Matt Miller at 314-932-7270 or visit their website labgym.com. Or just stop into the gym at 5035 Manchester Avenue to see for yourself.
This is Matt Miller with World Class Sports Performance at the Lab Gym. Make sure to check us out online. Stop by for a free tour. We're here to help you maximize your athletic potential.
World Class Sports Performance at the Lab Gym, St. Louis's premier training facility for elite and developmental athletes. Do you want to maximize your athletic potential? Do you want to get bigger, faster, stronger, more powerful, and actively prevent injuries? From high school and college to professional and Olympic athletes, world-class sports performance at the Lab Gym will get you ready to compete at the highest level. Call Director of Sports Performance Matt Miller at 314-932-7270 or visit their website labgym.com. Or just stop into the gym at 5035 Manchester Avenue to see for yourself.
This is Matt Miller with World Class Sports Performance at the Lab Gym. Make sure to check us out online. Stop by for a free tour. We're here to help you maximize your athletic potential.
And welcome back to the Tim Kylo broadcast booth. Tom Eichwald alongside Tim Morris, bringing you Cadet Soccer on the Cadet Student Network. And as we get ready to wrap up a first half that, to be honest with you, didn't have too much to offer us. Tim, your thoughts on the half so far?
I think from the side of CBC, a lot of disconnect. We saw good possession mixed in with just a step off. Could have used a bit more, especially in the final third of the field, a little bit more finishing, a little bit more connection. We saw the three strikers just miss each other by a couple of steps. Credit to the Smet, really, with their pressure defensively. They've been all over those the three forwards for CBC. They've closed down the spaces very quickly. They've had a very solid line, have not been caught. With their offside trap has worked consistently. They've kept Max Steffen a yard offsides for most of that half. And so it's just like that disconnect for CBC. That's what I saw a lot of. It's just that disconnect, and then it led to frustration, trying to force things, trying to make a play happen when there's not really it's a very low percentage opportunity.
Yeah, and you said it. I think for me the talking point of the entire first half was simply the pressing from Smet. I think they were probably the better-looking team. They pressed very, very well. They maybe had one or two moments of creativity on the attack. But and CBC, for what they've had, actually, I mean, the more I think about it, I don't think you can say one side was a little better than the other. I really think it was pretty even, because if you take back the offsides calls, I mean, CBC's moments of creativity were all called back by offsides.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could say they're generating one or two things as well. But if it's that hard to figure out who's the better team, it kind of tells you the story. So we talked in the run-up about the CBC formation, new formation. Your thoughts on this 3-2-4-1, Tim?
There are things that I liked about it. I think it's just a little off. It gives a little bit more freedom for Max Steffen and Nick Dempster to be working around, switching sides of the field. You have that central presence in the middle. I think Simon Larsson's doing a very good job at maintaining possession, picking his head up, turning when he can, laying it back when he can't make the turn. He's had a couple of very dangerous balls to the feet. One of the things that I always like to see is, instead of the over-the-top bouncer, is the nice on-the-ground through ball. Those are very dangerous, and he had a couple of those that were very, very close to being, if not for the offsides, very excellent scoring chances for both Nick Dempster and Max Steffen.
And I could be wrong here, but if I'm Coach Mickler, I wouldn't have any problem with throwing the same lineup out there at the start of the game. I think he has a tendency to do that. More often than not, he does, which I guess shows you, his decision-making and tactical awareness. He knows what he wants to do, and he's not going to change it. But I think this is a partnership that could be really, really cool with Steffen and Dempster and Larsson, and certainly not to overlook, Starzyk and Wittenauer on the wings. But that's a little bit what I want to see more of. I would like to see the ball make it to the corners a little bit more. And Smet has done a good job of shutting down the cross, but how many times have we seen CBC dump it right back in the middle, or try to play? They look like they're going to cut it wide. Smet shows one midfielder pressing, whether it's Avi Wessa or somebody on that far side, and they cut it right back in the middle. And so much of CBC's play has been through the middle. If they can really, if the Brendan Hennessy's and Jack Edwards of the world can really be physical and allow themselves to turn, and then if these wingers can get themselves in good position, you've got the numbers forward to really put some pressure. We saw a couple opportunities where it looked like they might have gotten a cross off. There was one that was just behind Larsson and not much else. So I would like to see CBC go with the same formation, look to utilize the abilities of your Adam Wittenauers and of your Bryce Starzyks, and even when Leach is in there, when Steffen's in there, when Dempster's in there, they can all go wide and cause problems. So I would like to see a little bit more of that personally, but I think that's we'll see how CBC comes out to start the second half. Now, folks, if you are a fan of CSN, you've definitely heard us mention our friend State Farm agent Tim Kylo. Tim is a CBC grad, and he takes great care of us here at the Cadet Student Network. This fall, we are going to say thanks to Tim on Twitter. Find Tim on Twitter by searching @RiskAgent. That's @RiskAgent. Then give him a follow, @RiskAgent. Join us all year as we thank Tim on Twitter. And we are getting set. We have 2 minutes to go in the half. We see both teams hydrating. And one of the things we didn't really talk about too much, Tim, we mentioned the humidity, but you wonder, do you see, substitutions? I think Smet probably subbed a little bit more in that first half than CBC did.
Well, I think Smet's game plan, they kept their back line on the field, but they subbed a lot of their forwards, often switching out the wings, and that's because their game is to get the ball down in there and press with those offensive players, those midfielders, to press to try to generate a mistake. And I think that's going to be their game plan to continue. I saw the coach pointing down the wings, trying to push the ball forward towards the goal, trying to generate any sort of opportunity and take advantage of it. I'm looking for Yankiewicz to still continue to be that disturber, and really trying to be annoying to AJ Palazzolo, because it was working. It was consistently working, and he's generating opportunities. I think the big opportunity was taken away because he was offsides by a step, but I see that they're generating a little bit more quality chances just by just keeping the pressure. And that's going to mean legs, just running.
And as we get set and as the players take the field here, you are going to see Smet in the maroon, white, and blue. They are attacking right to left across your screen. CBC in the home whites will be moving left to right. Of course, they switch ends. Again, no wind to really speak of, so the difference is minimal. The only thing out there. And it feels like it's maybe cooling off just a little bit outside the press box. I'm leaning as far out as I can to try to get a little bit of air, but it is... I wouldn't say turning into a lovely evening, but...
It's September in St. Louis.
It is. It is. Bordering on August in St. Louis. And as the clock ticks down, CBC goes out. Looks like we're going to have a very similar lineup, although I believe, if my eyes are not deceiving me, which they often do, I see E.J. Verhulst out there. I also see Sam Leach out there. So it looks like CBC is going to start. Okay, back three of Gertison, Palazzolo, and Edwards. So he's back to that right back role. And then Leach is alongside Alsmeyer. I'm sorry, Alsmeyer is directly in front of AJ. And then Leach is going to play alongside Ryan Oberle. So we have a midfield. Dude, we got a lot of stuff going on here. So a defensive midfield pairing, I guess, of Oberle and Alsmeyer. And then Leach, Steffen, Dempster, Verhulst.
Oh, looks like an offsides call there on Steffen.
Leach, Steffen, Dempster, Verhulst, and then Simon up top. That is how we're starting. So same formation, slightly different personnel package.
Looks like Dempster's just going to be out here on this wing side with Verhulst playing more of the striker role in the middle.
And EJ knows how to put him away. Again, we mentioned his game winner against Chaminade. But, of course, Dempster can score, too. We saw the hat trick against Fort Zumwalt South last week. That's decent.
Yeah.
That's worthy of mention. So what will we see in the second half? Will it be a stalemate like we saw in the first, or are we going to see some things open up for either team? And Alsmeyer gets closed down by the ever-present Matt Yankowitz. Man, you've got to be getting frustrated with him if you're a CBC player, don't you?
Just see that number 9.
Well, and that is a striker's greatest joy. And that was...
Like CBC was surprised not to get the...
Yeah, Ryan Gertison took somebody down.
The call.
Yep, there was no call. And ball dumped over the top for Yankowitz. Yankowitz versus Palazzolo. AJ closes down. Cuts it back. Can't quite connect with Connor Ferguson. Leach is being closed down from behind by Hansen. He gets it long through Verhulst.
Oh.
And if Verhulst could have gotten a foot on that and maybe diverted it to Dempster, because something could have been on, but good read from Connor Range. And now Palazzolo dumps it in. I mentioned soccer tennis in the first half. It made a brief reappearance there. And here's Larson. Larson cuts inside, gets brought down hard.
Somehow is able to maintain possession, but they're going to call the foul on him.
He's a little baffled by that. Okay.
Looks like he got the worst of that.
Yeah, he got kicked around a little bit, but oh well, the call is the call. And
AJ with a nice clear. Looks like Max Steffen with the nice play. Larson, oof.
And that is a foul.
Yep.
And that was Klingler taking down Larson. You can see a little bit of frustration from Simon there.
Yeah, he's gotten hammered twice.
Oh, yeah. At least they called that one, as far as he's concerned. And you can see the referee showing Klingler, you should probably not use your elbow next time you do that. Whether he did or not, hard to see from up here, but
it's a little discussion. And
yep. And this one gets dumped in.
That's going to be flicked for...
Yeah, headed out by Smet for a CBC throw. Now, we're seeing it... obviously, it's going to be physical out there. This is CBC Smet. We wouldn't have this any other way, would we, Tim?
No way.
Obviously, you hope nobody gets hurt, but we see it so often between these two teams. They don't leave anything out on the field. Alsmeyer tries to dump it back in. Twice. And out for Verhulst. And this one goes to Smet's way. 36-30, so a little brighter maybe for CBC. Simon Larson getting on the ball a little bit more, but still not able to find that last pass or two. And flicked by Dempster.
Oh.
Brought down, yeah. Poorly by Alsmeyer, but he makes up for it with a nice challenge. And here is Verhulst. Now Yankowitz. Nice touch by Edwards.
Yeah, just way to break that up.
And Palazzolo to Leach. Got to swing it wide.
Oof.
Avi Wessa nicely read. And here's Connor Ferguson. Getting closed down by Dempster, beats him. And good overlapping run there from John Reardon. But it's going to go out.
Not able to keep it in.
Nice run by Reardon there. Good support. It was almost a rugby run that just kind of kept going around each other.
Yeah.
It was very nice to watch. And here's Edwards. Pretend that ball is not spinning sideways. Again, gridlock in the middle of the field here. Ball dumped over the top. Why not head it farther? Still bouncing around. Connor Ferguson heads it out. And is going to be gathered by Griffin Morgan, who's got his head up, finds Hansen. And, ooh, that was a good read by Edwards because Hansen had Yankowitz. And Ferguson tries to challenge, but it goes out for a Smet throw. Now here's Reardon. Finds Palazzolo. There's not much to say as a commentator in this one.
Yeah, it's just a lot of bouncing ball. And
you can see exactly what's happening here. This is a little pinball.
I was about to say somebody needs to bring that down, and Dempster did, but then tried, I don't know, a cross-field long ball to his buddy Stefan. And
okay. And again, I think, ooh, a good idea there. Nice read by Simon. You can see the little bit of frustration with the dummy. I think maybe Leach was just a little too slow to recognize it, but good idea from Simon. And again, we should say his other position is center back. So that's not what you usually see out of a center back playing forward. Usually you see lots of fouls and head balls. Here's Wessa. Cuts inside. Gets a cross off. Yankowitz gets his head on it. Off the football upright. That's a nice look. But the ball kind of floated there, and
Avi's on the ground.
Yes, Yankowitz couldn't get on top of it. Avi Wessa is down.
They're going to ask for time here.
Yep. They signal a stoppage and play. Oh. Slow to get up. Can't quite tell what happened. And the trainer comes out. So we certainly hope Avi's okay.
When you need an attorney, you want someone you can count on to protect your legal rights. The attorneys at Milliken Wright are here for you. Brian Milliken and CBC grad Chris Wright have fiercely represented the injured and the accused in civil and criminal cases in the St. Louis metropolitan area for more than 15 years. Call Brian and Chris at 314-621-0622 or find Milliken Wright online at www.millikenwright.com. Milliken Wright will fight for you.
And they are working on Avi Wessa's right ankle, it appears. They're going to help him to his feet. And he's not putting any weight on it. That is not a good sign. And there's 0 weight being put on that ankle. Hard to see exactly what happened over there, but obviously anything can happen when you get tangled up. Maybe a cleat gets stuck in the turf. So we certainly hope he's okay, and he's starting to put some weight on it, so that's good.
Yeah. Dangerous ball, and Yankowitz really showing his ability to get. He was able to cut off A.J. Palazzolo for that header. Fortunately for CBC, he put it about 20 feet over the net.
Well, and there was nothing else he could have done. That ball just kind of sat right over him. It was almost like hovering over him, and he had to go up and get it, so that's so hard to control. Yeah. And it goes off the top of his head. But, again, I mean, we can't say enough good things about Matt Yankowitz. Not only the ability, the physicality, but the drive, the desire. I mean, he's getting after everything he can. And Wes is seated on the bench. And play will resume with John Hubert goal kick. And we have the referee's permission. Almost. There it is. And Avi Wessa is up and walking on the sideline. He's hobbling just a little bit, but appears to be okay, so that is a good sign. And you guess who, trying to cause problems here. It goes out of bounds on Matt Yankowitz. He didn't see it that way, but... and certainly can't give the ball to Jack Edwards that easily.
A little gamesmanship there.
Of course.
Aggressive Spartans, let's go!
And Palazzolo plays a 30-yard cross pass in the defense. And Oberle can't quite win that one. He was fouled. So this is going to be going out for CBC. 32:47 to go. You're watching Cadet Soccer on CSN. Tom Eichwald alongside Tim Morris in the Tim Kylo broadcast booth. Bringing you a gritty one. It's starting to open up, though. I think we're starting to see what we hoped for. And I imagine we will continue to do so. That ball dumped in. A little tall for everybody. That was Dempster dumping it in. And trying an interchange there was Oberle and Gertison. Two predominantly center backs. Trying a quick 1-2 in the attacking third.
Oh, and here's a
dangerous opportunity for Smet on the counter. Nice job by Ryan Oberle to recover, slow him down just a little bit, but they've got options. Connor Ferguson, Nick Hansen in the middle. You guess who? Matt Yankowitz was the instigator there. And here's Simon Larson. Good
nice
toe poke
ball
ahead for Adam Wittenauer. Here's the shot, and a save from Connor Range. And a correction, that was not Adam Wittenauer, that was Sam Leach over there on that left-hand side. So nice toe poke from Simon Larson. There you see the intelligence he's demonstrating.
Sam Leach did a nice job waiting for the defense to commit either to his centering pass or to the shot. Kept his options available, and then I like the move. I would maybe like to see a little bit more pace in the shot, but I thought it was a well-taken opportunity, well-taken shot.
And a solid
demanded a save.
Yeah, good positioning from Connor Range. Put himself right where he needed to be. A lot of times you say, oh, he shot it right at him. That's not an accident.
Well, he never committed either.
No.
Did a good job at maintaining his position, waiting for the offensive player to commit.
And this one's thrown over everybody but AJ. And he shanks it a little bit. It's going to go out for a Smet throw. And short one from John Reardon, flicked on by Hansen. And Klingler tries to bring it down. And that one's out off of CBC, apparently. And there's Griffin Morgan duking it out with Oberle. Finds Reardon. And that is Jamie Phillips giving the what for there to John Reardon. And Phillips again out there to cause some problems. And that was a handball. Good officiating by E.J. Verhulst. And that was Sam Grass. Not sure he could have done a whole lot about that, but his hands were away from the body, and they did help him gain control.
It's like we're going to have a discussion here.
Yeah, Grass, Yankowitz, and Klein are being talked to, or at least Grass and Klein. Now, here's what I don't get. Did the referee just tell Sam Grass to leave the field?
It could be.
In which case, I don't know that I've seen a player asked to leave the field without being given a yellow card before, and
or even
not in a while.
for blood, or
no, he's not being seen by the trainer. He's just getting a drink of water. I'm not sure, and they delay a substitution. Boy, that's weird. I mean, if he's jawing or something like that enough to come off the field, that's what they give you a piece of paper in your pocket for. Oh, well, it is what it is.
It's a little bizarre. Coach Klein there wondering what exactly is going on.
And you always get the gauge of how a coach feels about a call like that by how long the player is out. Here's Larson. Larson with the right-footed shot, saved by Connor Range.
Connor Range was way out of the box on that one, but nice positioning.
And Coach Klein is halfway down to his own goal there. But and you see Sam Grass getting ready to come right back on. Again, you usually can tell how a coaching staff feels about a call by how long the player spends on the bench. And he's walking on before the official blows the whistle. I'm sure they love that one after they ask him to leave. Oh well, Reardon is sacrificed. So whatever happened is over with. I guess he's got a short leash, though. 28-29 to go. Again, not much between the two teams, and there's Gertison letting Nick Hansen know he was there. We're starting to see some physicality.
And this is where CBC needs to take a deep breath and not let the frustrations take over. Because this is exactly what the Smet wants, is a set piece in CBC's attacking end, generating opportunities.
Right. And DeSmet, some big boys in there, too. This one's played in. Johnny Huber's going to come claim. Good punch.
Yeah, like nice, strong punch.
And no catch there. Here's Klingler and Steffen. Good battle. Nicely won by Jack Klingler. I could watch a few more of those tonight. And still bouncing around. Everybody going for it. In the end, it's just a throw.
Looks like we're going to have another sub from DeSmet, number 13.
That is Grant Waters. And he's coming on to take the place of, is this Klingler? Yes, Jack Klingler. And battle for it over there on the far side. Ends up with Palazzolo. And he's going to kick it long, just over the head of Simon Larson, which takes some doing.
Lots of space over here on this side for DeSmet.
Here's Waters, a substitute. Nice ball over to the near side to Hansen. Just a little too far, though, and Palazzolo's going to gather. Nice pressure from Nick Hansen, though. CBC throw, but not in the area you want it. And going for a jog over there for CBC is Adam Whitnauer. SLC Vice President Adam Whitnauer.
Might see some changes, put Nick Dempster and Max Steffen back up top in the middle.
Yep. And we got two players over there warming up. Can't quite tell who the other is. He's blocking his number with a practice penny. And DeSmet wins that one, looking for Yankowitz. Oh, Palazzolo wins that battle. We're watching two heavyweights, aren't we, with Palazzolo and Yankowitz? Ooh, and Simon Larson gets taken down late. And that's the correct call. Obviously, Simon went down pretty hard there. He seems to be okay. You got to watch that. I mean, he's starting to get a little frustrated. He's getting kicked around.
It's a tough game here in St. Louis. It's a contact sport.
Welcome to the MCC, Simon Larson. And again, we talked about the physicality. This is a physical game. It should be a physical game, but obviously you want to see, emotions stay under control. You don't want to see anything cheap. You want to see everything fair. And I think so far we've seen a pretty fair game. So I don't think anybody's crossed the line so far. Huber interestingly chooses to clear it.
Yeah, that's a little late.
Straight into the back there. That's a foul.
Those are you're not going to win possession.
Nope.
No need for that, because now you just gave them possession.
Well, and honestly, when the ball keeps getting played up in the air like that, nobody's going to win possession. So. And
DeSmet's going to put this one probably right around the 18-yard line, looking to generate just a little bit of confusion.
There it is, and good header from Alsmeyer. Doesn't find Steffen, and DeSmet's going to get another go at this should they choose. Good closing down from Gertison there. So DeSmet asking a few questions right now. 24-22 to go. Still scoreless. CBC in the white attacking left to right. DeSmet in the maroon going right to left. Scoreless, if you're just joining us late, two teams have pretty much canceled each other out. We've seen a little bit more open play in the second half. Emphasis on a little bit. But you get the feeling this game could be settled by a odd bounce or something weird, or a bit of brilliance, mistake, something like that. There won't be much between these two teams, I don't think.
Nice tackle there by Nick Dempster.
And Dempster finds Leach Leach has Larson in the middle. He's got Dempster going near post. Looks long over Larson. It's kind of in a dead zone in between Larson and Oberle. Yankowitz brings it down. Nice control from Matt Yankowitz. And now we're starting to see a game open up.
Yeah, a little bit more urgent. Nice toe poke there to save.
Necessary toe poke there.
Like to see a little bit more urgency for CBC getting back on defense.
I agree. Ooh, Palazzolo gets taken out from behind by Yankowitz. Somebody gets warned to stop talking, and we have a free kick by CBC taken short in the defensive third. Nick Hansen gives Pat Alsmeyer a little bump. Again, you're seeing two teams going for it here. Now Palazzolo. Gertison. CBC looking to, well, I was going to say looking to build out of the back, but then that happened. And DeSmet ends up controlling. Very familiar sight. CBC dumping it long and DeSmet winning the ball.
Looks like we're going to have a change here for CBC.
And Simon Larson's going to make way, as is Sam Leach. So Adam Whitnauer comes in, hopefully to add some width. And then over here on the near side, is that Tyler McAllister?
It looks like Tyler McAllister, another winger.
So again, we haven't seen too much wide play from CBC. We've seen one or two instances, but not a lot. And here you see it again. And still a CBC throw. Can the Cadets produce something? And this one's thrown in to Steffen. Steffen squares it up. Ball's brought down. Decent shot attempt there from, is it Verhulst?
Verhulst, yeah.
And now Edwards. Another ball over the top. And Steffen loses that one. Ball's played in the middle. Too tall for Matt Yankowitz. Good control from AJ. And that's long. And we've seen that too many times from AJ tonight. I get it. The midfield isn't working. You may want to switch the midfield, but at least play one short now and then just to kind of make them think you might do something different. You have so much skill in the middle.
It's just there's not the runs being generated.
No.
Like no one was making that run. And he makes it play. It's almost like he's trying to say, this is where I want you to make the run.
Right. So
here we have a switch. Yankowitz coming out for number 6.
That is Charlie Gibbs. And here is Palazzolo. That one, good pass on the deck. Verhulst loses out on some good pressure there. And slipping there was Grant Waters.
Look, that 25-yard line said, hello.
Yeah. Talk about a little love bump from another player. You get him from the field every now and then. Here is ball thrown in. Squarely onto the forehead of Austin Bloom. And looking over the top, nothing doing. Oh, Dempster can't turn. You can see the idea there.
Keep talking.
And here's counter range. Gives that one a ride. That's a good kick. Probably his best of the night. Finds Gibbs, who controls nicely. Griffin Morgan. Now Gibbs. Good ball down the flank. Oh, good closing from Pat Alsmeyer. Again, another good read from the defensive midfield. I haven't talked about him too much.
He just does his job.
Yep.
Which is break up the play.
19 minutes and 18 seconds to try to get something out of this game for both teams. A reminder, the U-High currently leads the tournament at 7 points. They beat Vianney 4-1, 3 points for a win, and 4 points, one for each of their goals. Vianney lost. They get no points for that, but they do get a goal, so they have 1 point. So SLU at 7, Vianney at 1. As it stands right now, if this game were to end 0-0, CBC and DeSmet would be tied for third if it ends 0-0, because at least Vianney has the point for the goal. both these teams would have a point for the draw, but on the tiebreaker for goal differential goals scored. Actually, no, goal differentials before goals scored. So I believe they'd be tied for second, since Vianney would trail on goal differential.
It's a complicated tournament.
It is. Oh, no, correct. Okay, so the tiebreaker, you can tell where Coach Mickler's coming from in this tournament. The first tiebreaker is fewest goals allowed, so these two teams would be second. Oh! And there you see Connor Range colliding with Sam Grass.
Sam Grass looking at the official, but
that was his own player.
His own player.
That was definitely a miscommunication at the back between your center back and your keeper. I would think they would want to sort that out pretty quick. Boy, that was weird. Okay, then. Well, this is a throw-in for Adam Wittenauer. Gives it a lob. Good line drive.
But look at all this space.
Yeah, needed a little more height to carry it over that first or second defender there. And here is Ackfeld. Ackfeld looks long. Edwards controls.
Nice job by Edwards, not just giving it a ride, but getting it some control.
And I think right now you really need to see some of these leaders for CBC step up. You need to see the Max Steffens and AJ Palazzolos of the world really kind of step up and take the game upon themselves.
Oh, here we go.
And this is a good run here for Wittenauer. Wittenauer's got options in the middle. Far post, he has McAllister. Nobody near him. And the ball's played on the deck and too short. Cut out nicely by Sam Grass. And now Smet looking to break. We are definitely starting to open up here with under 17 to go in the game. This ball's played. He's got options in the middle. Hauling it back is Tyler McAllister. Pat Alsmeyer clears. Nice little backheel clearance from Pat Alsmeyer. And CBC is able to avoid some of the danger. You can see some spaces opening up on this pitch right now. We're starting to get a little bit of excitement in a game marked by tedium.
That's going to be a handball. A little break in the action.
So just to be clear, CBC and Smet would currently, if it ends scoreless, would currently sit tied for second ahead of Vianney because the first tiebreaker, again, is fewest goals allowed.
Looks like AJ's just itching to push forward to try to create something.
Yep. He can do that as long as Pat Alsmeyer's on the same page, which he usually is.
Nice job by McAllister to stay wide here.
Ooh, good move. Cuts it back. Oh, and Steffen puts it over the bar. Nick Dempster was the first to read it, and he whiffed a little bit on it.
That was a great job. McAllister was hugging the sideline for a good 10 minutes.
Good look.
And that's what you have to do as the far side winger is just trusting that this good positioning will generate something and then make something happen, get the ball in the middle. Nice ball.
And correction, that was not Dempster. That was the number 16, which I believe is Tyler Herberholt, if I can find the roster. Got way too many rosters here. That is Tyler Herberholt, sophomore. And Steffen looks to play Herberholt in. Can't quite connect. And here's Avi Wessa. Good to see him back out there. He, again, went off with an ankle injury in the first half to his right ankle. Appears to be okay. Nice to see. Again, you don't want to see players get hurt ever, but especially early in a season in a tournament against a rival. And we have a quarter of an hour to go and a lot to accomplish. And Verhulst is dispossessed. And that's a hack, apparently, from Steffen. A little wild there. Might have gotten the ball, but I don't think the referee liked the tone of that tackle. So it's going out for a free kick, and Smet's going to kick this long. Big surprise based on the way we've seen things go tonight. Edwards heads clear. Finds Alsmeyer. Alsmeyer looks to flick into the middle, but nobody there. I'd like to see Alsmeyer maybe bring it down in control. See if he can turn maybe. There's McAllister. Edwards. Oh, good read. That is an excellent read there from David Meyerhoff. Meyerhoff has Gibbs in the middle. Can he get the cross in? He does. Goes through everybody. Oberly whiffs. Almost fell to, that was, I can't talk fast enough for that. That was Matt Gambino, and then Avi Wessa can't quite control. And now we could have an opportunity for CBC. Steffen combining with Tyler Herberholt. Back for Sam Leach. Looking for Steffen. Only finds a couple of heads from Smet. And now Gambino. somehow beats 2 men, can't beat the third, but the bounce beats CBC, as it were. Edwards misplays. Corrects nicely. McAllister. And here we go. And Palazzolo and Huber are going to... Palazzolo takes it. Ooh, look at that pressure from Charlie Gibbs. And Jack Edwards stands his ground. And playing it out is Sam Radetich. Things starting to ratchet up here. 13 minutes. Good hustling from the Smet coaching staff. The ball boy was on errand.
It's going to be the Smet throw. We might get a substitution here.
Yep. Yankowitz comes back on, as does Connor Ferguson. Radetich steps off. And also Gambino coming off. It's a bad moment to have your number end in 2.
Looks like they're going to keep Gibbs. Gibbs doing a lot of work up with Yankowitz.
I like what I've seen from Charlie Gibbs so far. I mean, he's been, I called him Yankowitz earlier. Similar build, maybe a little bit more slight, but, again, similar mold. You've seen him, really, really adamantly pressing. You've seen him causing problems.
Oh, good job here.
Here's Stefan. Plays it in almost through the legs of Connor Range, and he puts everything he has on top of that one. That was close. That's one of those fluky ones as a goalie where it comes off the bottom of your palms and almost goes right through your legs. Nice recovery there to hold it, and
we have a substitution here.
Undone by their own substitution. That's a bad break.
Nice job by Max Stefan to use his body, maintain control of it, wait for that to come down under his foot. Oh.
All right, so...
Is that why goalie shirts are made out of a different material?
Yeah, I think so.
The ball sticks
Actually,
to it a little bit.
A lot of them now are starting to come with some sticky material on the sleeves to help hold the ball. Apparently the FIFA rules committees have not caught on to that one yet. Either that or FIFA has bigger problems. One or the other, Tim. And this one is played long. Hopefully nobody from FIFA is listening. And here's Avi Wessa. Can't quite turn his man. And Wessa again getting involved. That ankle appears to be okay. I don't see any tape on it, so I think he's probably just took a knock. Maybe rolled it. But he appears to be okay. This one's played over the top for Connor Ferguson. Ferguson tangled up with McAllister. Referee says play on. Palazzolo clears. Wittenauer makes up for what was lacking in that clearance. And this goes all the way to Connor Range. He's got the ball in his feet and Max Stefan on his trail. And, Tim, if this pace keeps up, this could be a fun 10 minutes and 28 seconds, couldn't it?
Yeah, it can go. It's just waiting for one mistake or one piece of brilliance. Sam Leach wondering.
It's a fine edge.
Wondering what that was about.
I think it was about putting your hand on somebody's shoulder and pulling back.
Oh.
And this one's dumped in. Looking for Wessa. That was David Meyerhoff giving it the boot. And good hustle there from, was that Griffin Morgan?
I think so, throwing his body in front of that one.
That was off the ground into tackle in about a tenth of a second.
Oh, good turn here.
Good turn by Gibbs. He's got Wessa alongside. And good tackle from Palazzolo and cleanup from Ryan Gertison. And Griffin Morgan's going to reset. Comes back in 9.5 to go now.
I like the communication amongst. I think it was Jack Edwards that used his body, not really committing anything, just forcing him into Palazzolo to finish the tackle.
Obviously, Palazzolo's got the better angle because if Edwards goes for it, even if he gets the ball, the referee's entitled to call it because he's technically coming from behind. Charlie Gibbs, after a good shift, makes way. And making his way back on the field is Nick Hansen. We've had our share of Hansons here at CBC. Got to avoid calling him the wrong name. And that is players getting tangled up. And Yankowitz has to, Ferguson has to watch himself, as does Griffin Morgan. They're all over the official. Hard to see from here. I mean, honestly, my first reaction was foul, but the referee doesn't call it. And the referee's assistant had a good angle on it. We didn't see the flag wave. Now here is Hansen. Nice little flick. And now Wessa dumps it in. Huber claims. Nice job by Johnny. Got to take his time here. And he's going to get an excuse to boot it, which he does well. That is one of the things he does best. And Simon Larson, the poor soul, tasked with trying to head that. I don't know what he did to Johnny, but
Larson's open, though. Oh.
He is, and he's floating in the middle. That one's played out, going CBC's way. 8 minutes to go. CBC trying to get a substitution on. Coming on the field is Nick Dempster. And off of the field is Adam Wittenauer. Good quick sub. And here's Alsmeyer. Can't quite get the space he needs. Now Leach. Ball played Yankowitz v. Palazzolo about round 18. And he gets taken down, and we are going to get a card for A.J. Palazzolo for bringing him down from behind, I guess. And,
he had his hands on him the entire time.
There it is.
I think he's got to come off here.
Yeah, I was going to say I think we've seen one or two that were just as bad, but I guess that's why he's getting booked. And Larson is going to make his way back and play center back. So he's going to play, he's going to mark Matt Yankowitz. We talked about physicality and welcome to the MCC.
Has anyone stepped on for CBC here?
Who is that? Is it Herberholt being the first to read it? That is Tyler Herberholt.
Tyler Herberholt just stepping on.
I think nobody else moved, so he just walked out on the field. And he's, again, filling the spot that Simon Larson vacated to go play his other position, center back. And so AJ's got to sit out for that. Now, there's no amount of time specified by rule. Larson heads it, but straight up.
I imagine just a few minutes. I mean, he's talking to the coaches right now.
Yeah. Again, I think that's probably for a repeat offense for Palazzolo.
Yeah.
Although we hadn't seen it in a while. And that's a grab a shirt and pull somebody down. But again, he hasn't done that a few other times, so don't read into that comment, folks. 7:10 to go. Not much to say at this point as a commentator. Just watch. If you're only listening to us, that's not good. Well, it's not usually good enough, but now it certainly isn't. You need to be watching this. Jack Edwards loses out to Sam Grass, who's working his way forward. Yankowitz called offsides. Ooh, that's a close one, Tim. That is a very close offsides call. And Yankowitz is extremely unhappy about that, and he may have good reason. That's either a mistake or a very, very sharp eye over on that sideline. Hard to see. But it is what it is. 6:25 to go. And Avi Wessa, who's been very useful out there ever since he went off briefly with an ankle injury. And this one's bouncing around. A little bank shot from Leach. And the ball boy waiting to see whose throw it is before deciding what speed he will throw it in with.
It looks like we're going to have a switch here. Palazzolo may be staying up top.
Yeah, he's going to move up and let Simon Larson deal with the...
yeah. It's probably something they talked about.
And we saw it in the Chaminade game, too. He scored a diving header off across from Leach. I mean, he's good enough to play anywhere. And Leach dumps one over the top. Ball played forward, looking for Palazzolo. Ooh, Palazzolo just couldn't get it. Counter range. That was very close to the edge of the penalty area right there. Boy, I tell you, folks, I thought he was, oh, man. You could see the hesitation, and I think he just decided, I'm going to grab this and, make the ref make a decision. And, whew, that was close. Also close was Palazzolo getting on the end of it, and Avi Wessa, you can't do that.
Palazzolo just got taken down again.
Well, and Wessa's got to watch himself because he pulls somebody down. He goes in with his shoulder there, so he's now got to watch himself. I would think. 5 minutes to go. CBC free kick. And finally gets dumped in. Ball right in the middle. Palazzolo gets a head on it, but nowhere on goal. That's a tough one. I think it came off the side of his head. You can see him kind of holding the side of his head. That one doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
That's not how they teach you.
Let's see. AJ's making his way back.
Yep.
Might.
Are we going to see Larson get bumped back up, or no, we're just going to see AJ kind of sit in the middle of the field?
He's probably just going to go find the ball.
Yeah. I think those are probably his orders. Now, honestly, this is a
great move there.
Yankowitz. Who else? And Yankowitz brings down Alsmeyer, but referee says play on. And that wasn't Alsmeyer. Correction, that was somebody else with orange shoes or green shoes. No, that was Alsmeyer. He's wearing the same boots as Verhulst. That was Stefan with a little nibble there. Inside of 4 minutes to go. 3:50 to go. Sam Grass dumps it long. And AJ Palazzolo playing in a role that the Smet fans should be somewhat familiar with, very similar to the role we've seen John Russo over the years occupy late in the game.
Go find the ball.
Exactly. Find the ball and do something.
Looks like we're going to have a sub here.
Yep. And Simon Larson makes his way forward. Joey Crawford, is that Joey Crawford? Making his way on and sacrificing Leach. Oh, no, that's Gertison back on.
It looks like Ryan Oberle. Gertison now moving over into the center.
Okay, so it is Oberle.
Put more tall bodies up front.
No, correction, it's Oberle in the center and Gertison on the side. We're getting our Ryans confused. All right, 3:05. Can't find Klingler. And, AJ gets called on that one. Probably just trying a little too hard there.
Yeah.
2:47. Oh. AJ intercepts the free kick. Sloppy from DeSmet there. Will they be made to pay? And the cross comes in, finds AJ, back out. He's going to dump it in. Simon Larson right there. There's a goal.
Offsides.
Oh, that was offsides.
The flag is up. No goal. Offsides.
Oh, that was a good look there for Max Stefan. He played it off of counter range and into the goal on a good cross there, but it's all for naught. The net bulges. We think we have something, and it's called back. So counter range is going to give this a ride with 2 minutes and 8 seconds to go. 2:08. This one's booted. And CBC trying to head it back in. Here's Palazzolo. Flicks it in looking for Larson. Beaten to it by Sam Grass.
All the way back to Johnny Huber. Gives it a ride. Looks like that one's going to be played out of bounds. Oh, back into the middle.
Could be a mistake. Off Palazzolo, apparently off his hand. You can see Palazzolo getting frustrated out there. He's trying to take this game over. You can see he wants it. And again, a tie, a 0-0 tie, would leave both of these teams tied for second behind SLU and 6 points behind them.
Oh, and nice run here.
Good ball in. That time he was onside. Connor Ferguson prefers the left foot. They're trying to force him onto the right. Ball played back in by Hansen, cleared out by Alsmeyer. We have a DeSmet corner. They're hurrying to take it. 47 seconds to go. DeSmet has a corner. As a goalkeeper, as a defender, this is about the most nervous you get. You cannot give anything away here. Anything here is fatal, folks. And this ball will be played in by Meyerhoff with the left. It's an outswinger. Huber comes, doesn't get it. Off Huber, and that's in. And that's Connor Ferguson with the goal. Connor Ferguson with the goal. And that one hurts. That one hurts. And I talked about a nervous moment for a goalkeeper or for a defender. You could see Johnny Huber start to come out, and he hesitated. That is a cardinal sin of goalkeeping. He knows it. Everybody, Coach Wales knows it. You certainly don't. Obviously, it's a good header, and Johnny got something on it. But what do you say?
Smet took advantage of the opportunities that were laid for them, and that was their game plan, is just put the pressure on.
Now Palazzolo's going to dump it, 28 to go. And CBC doing everything they can to get on the end of this one, 18 seconds. Ball bouncing around. Alsmeyer back to Edwards, who's got to give this a heave. Plays short to Alsmeyer. I think he surprised Pat there. 7 seconds. Ball dumped in, headed clear by Smet. And with 3 seconds to go, I don't think we're going to see much for CBC. That is it. So Smet pulls out a tight one by a score of 1-0. There you have it. Connor Ferguson with the goal. Got to give him credit. But I think, well, what do you think, Tim? I'm trying to find words here.
The game fell into Smet's game plan all the way up into the last minute. Right, their game plan was to try to create set pieces in CBC's end, constantly driving the ball into that end, not necessarily generating possession, but generating opportunities, and they did that. They did that, and they created the one mistake that they needed from Johnny Huber to win the game.
So you got to credit Smet there, but all in all, we had a pretty good last 25 minutes there, but we saw two teams cancel each other out for a good portion of this game, and it comes down to a set piece. We talked about it coming down to a bounce, to a mistake, to something like that, and we definitely saw that happen tonight. Now, the last thing we have to do, first of all, before we wrap up, the last thing, we have to certainly let you know we will be bringing you CBC's other games in this tournament. So tomorrow at 7 p.m. Thursday at 7 p.m. CBC versus SLU at 7 p.m. right here on CSN, and then on Saturday CBC versus Vianney at 7 p.m. So Thursday night CBC taking on SLU, who is currently leading the tournament by 7. Smet is in second with 4. And CBC is in 4th. Vianney is in 3rd with 1 point for a goal, and CBC is in, Smet has 5 because they get a shutout point as well.
They get shut out, yeah.
SLU has 7, Smet has 5, CBC has 0, and Vianney has 1, so there you have it. Now, our last thing we have to do, obviously we got to give the man of the match. Throughout the game, I thought the most sustained impact was Matt Yankowicz. The only thing is, does a goal trump that? You make the call, Tim, because I can't.
I think it does. I would say though, like the entire game plan went through Yankowicz, and Yankowicz was the spirit, the heart of the team. He was the one that sort of set the tempo, set the style for Smet, and everyone sort of followed suit.
But you get the goal, you get the glory.
You get the goal, you get the glory. So it's got to go to
Connor Ferguson. So there you have it, folks. We want to thank you for joining us. And again, please join us Thursday and Saturday as we bring you CBC versus SLU on Thursday at 7, and then Saturday at 7 p.m. is CBC versus Vianney. So thanks for joining us. For Tim Morris, for all of us here on the Cadet Student Network, we want to thank John Rolfe, Mr. Randy Gardner, everybody who helped out with the broadcast tonight. That'll do it for us. So we will see you on Thursday night, folks. Thanks for joining us.